Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings and the mercy of Allah be upon each and every one of you. And we are almost there. We've almost made it. We've almost reached to Ramadan once again for another year. Alhamdulillah, I'm your host in this series of reminders, Abu Hafsah Clare, and I'm going to be helping us, hopefully all of us, to kick this month off right, inshallah, so that it becomes more than simply a month of standing, bowing, prostrating, listening, but a month of reflecting, a month of contemplating, a month of praying, and a month of recognizing and worshiping the one who is our creator, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't want to just do this month as a cultural thing or a fun thing, although it can be fun, and certain aspects of it definitely can be cultural. But we want it to be a springboard so that it takes us all the way through the coming year and right back to the next Ramadan, insha'Allah ta'ala. So this brief series of reminders that I'm going to be sharing with you is hopefully going to help us all accomplish that. And may Allah accept all of your fasting and all of our efforts and all of our worship that is done for His sake and His sake alone. Ameen. Which brings us to the very beginning, which is the intention. Many of us, we don't really pay a whole lot of attention to the intention. And it doesn't mean necessarily saying it out loud or going through all these different changes, but the intention to fast should be for the sake of Allah. Many people will tell you about the health benefits of fasting, and that's fine. Many people will tell you that it is a time for families to get together, and that's fine too. Many people will tell you many different things. But this fasting, this act of worship is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, Allah has said that fasting is for me and I am the one who rewards for it. A fasting person has two joys. The first joy is when he breaks his fast or her fast, and the second joy is when he or she meets his or her Lord. So be very, very careful when you start your fast to know in your heart that you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, that verily for sure actions are judged by intentions. We need to purify our intentions for the sake of Allah. We need to make sure that our fasting is for His and His sake alone. Yes, other things may come from it. Other health benefits may come from it. Other families getting together and having wonderful food may result from it. But at the beginning, know that it should be done for the sake of Allah alone. We also have to remember of the hadith of the three people that will come in front of Allah. The three people who are, number one, the person who was a mujahid. And he was brave and he fought hard and he struggled and he did what he was supposed to do and he died, and Allah will ask him, why did you do that? And he will say, I did it for you, O Allah. And Allah will answer him and say, you lied. You did it so that people would say that you're brave. And he'll be dragged on his face and thrown into the hellfire. Now I'm sure that you're aware of this hadith. I know that. But a reminder benefits the believer, and it is a very famous hadith. So I'm going to continue on with it, inshallah. The second person who will be brought in front of Allah will be someone who gave a lot of charity. They were very generous. They did a lot of charity. And we see people like that now. And may Allah purify us all and help us all to be people who can give what they can for the sake of Allah. But this person gave a lot. And he'll be brought in front of Allah and he'll be asked, why did you do that? And he'll say, I did it for you, O Allah. It's for you that I did all of this. And Allah will say, kadhabt, you lied. You did it so that people would say he is brave, he is generous. And it was said, just like the one before him, people said he was brave. And just like him, Allah will throw the second one also into the hellfire. The third person will come, and he'll be a person who learned and taught the Quran to other people. He recited it and taught it to others. And we see a lot of this going on right now. We see a lot of it. People are reciting and learning the Quran all over the globe, mashallah. It's awesome. It's wonderful. We do it as speakers. We travel all over the place and we do this work. And this is the one really that affects us the most. although all of them can be affecting us. This one really affects us, especially because we travel the world and we teach people. We don't do it to get famous, inshallah. We don't do it to get recognition from the people. Hopefully we do it for the sake of Allah and for the sake of Allah alone, because a person who does that will be brought in front of Allah and he will be asked, why did you do it? And this person in the hadith will say, I did it for you, O Allah. I did it just for you and you alone. And Allah will say, you lied. You did it because so that people would say, he is a scholar. And it was said. And he'll be dragged on his face and thrown into hellfire. So we want our fasting to be for the sake of Allah, not for people to say, he is fasting or she is fasting. We need it to be for the sake of Allah and for the sake of Allah alone. It makes it tremendously easier, actually, when you do that and you remember Allah throughout your fasting. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. But this one is for our intentions, and we need to purify them, and we need to rectify them. We need to make sure that they are pure for the sake of Allah and for the sake of Allah alone. For this episode, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, my name is Abu Hafsah Clare. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.